What is up, my dudes, and that one girl just wants to look pretty for the camera? This is Bikes, Beards, and Brews. Let's kick that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we kick this one off, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. New videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Yeah, I mean, the whole like going down to 2 when it gets too cold, I just don't think we're gonna do it. We're gonna power through 3 videos. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So let's get into today's video, shall we? And that is why GoPro still sucks. And man, I was hoping I didn't have to make this video. Really, I was hoping. And for a while, I actually forgot how much GoPro sucks. Since I've upgraded my hardware, since I went to the GoPro 11 front and back, and I got the brand new GoPro remote, or the newer version of the GoPro remote. As you can see, it's not on my handlebar where it normally is. Things have been going pretty damn well. And like, you know, I went all in. I got the new GoPro 11s. I got 2 of those. I got an extra set of batteries, an extra charger. I got the media mod, you know, stuff like that. Basically the full setup that I was using when I was on the GoPro Hero 8. And since then, I've really had no issues. And I haven't really said that out loud too much because I didn't want to upset the GoPro gods or make them think that I was happy so they could step in and make me miserable. Well, apparently the GoPro gods are also psychic on top of being psycho. So last week I had mentioned that my remote started updating, and I thought that it wouldn't finish updating because I was away from my house, I was away from Wi-Fi and all that stuff. So today I was at home and I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and update the remote before I head out and start recording and all that stuff. So I turned on the remote, I connected it to my camera, I let it just sit there for a while, and nothing happened. It was just a spinning wheel saying updating, updating, updating. Drove me nuts. So I was like, you know what, maybe the GoPro remote doesn't like over Wi-Fi updates like the GoPro 11s do. For those of you who are not aware, when GoPro released the 11s, they made it a little bit easier on you. Instead of having to plug your GoPro into a computer or your phone or like download stuff to an SD card, you could just connect it to the GoPro app via Wi-Fi that is on your phone and run the updates over air. And it took like, you know, a couple minutes, and it's good. I've actually run a few sets of updates on my 11 since getting them, and it has been perfectly fine. So I was like, all right, maybe it needs to be connected. So I took, you know, USB-C cable and I connected the remote to the camera. I restarted everything so it was nice and fresh. The remote still said like turn on like discovery on your camera to find like the remote. So I was like, all right, I'll play this game. Connected it, and it sat there and did absolutely nothing except for the spinning update wheel again. So while I was sitting there debating on just swallowing my tongue and ending it all so I didn't have to deal with GoPro anymore, I was like, you know what, I'm being stubborn. Let me go to the GoPro site and see how they suggest that you update this remote correctly. So I went to their site, and holy crap, good job GoPro living in the goddamn past, because that is what you're doing. So to update this remote, you have to download the update onto your computer. Then you have to take a fully wiped micro SD card and put it into your computer. If you do not have a micro SD card reader, then you have to get a USB to micro SD card adapter, plug that in, move the updates to the micro SD card, and then you take the micro SD card. Are you still keeping up with me here? Because this is a long ass thing. There are way too many, there are escape rooms out there with less steps than this bullshit. So yeah, you take the micro SD card out of the adapter, you put it into your GoPro, you then turn on your remote, you connect your remote to the GoPro wirelessly from the way I read it, and the updates will begin. So I did that, and a whole lot of nothing happened. I got to stare at that stupid wheel all over again, and once again debated on taking a bath with my toaster. So I was just like, all right, this is awful. Maybe it has to be connected to the camera. So again, I broke out my trusty USB-C cable, plugged them in together, turned it on, did the whole like discovery thing. Nothing happened. That's the other thing. Every time you power off and power back on the remote says turn your camera on to discovery mode so it can find it. Even though these things have been connected a million times before, for some reason it can no longer find it because it's trying to run an update. So I get to do that step every single time as well. And then that didn't work, so I tried a bunch of other approaches, because really the definition of insanity is to just keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I am not insane, at least not on that level. So I also looked around on YouTube and I Googled and stuff like that to see if there are other people with the same issue I was having. One person brought up the fact that when he did start getting it to update, the remote would automatically power off and the update would never go through. And his fix was to hold the power button through the entire update. So I started running into that issue. If I turned on the camera first and set it into discovery and then turned on the remote, they would connect and then the remote would power off. So I tried his method. Also, nothing happened. I tried a bunch of other methods. Nothing happened. I then Googled trying to just completely factory reset the remote, and I could not find anything that shows you how to factory reset it. So the reason why this sucks is because every time you turn on the remote, it automatically goes into this update and you can't bypass it. So it's not like your cameras. Like your cameras will say, there's a new update. Do you want to run it? And you just say, no, later, go screw. And that's what they do. And then they work accordingly. The remote does not allow that. The remote decided it wanted to update all by its very own. Like at no point in time did I press a button saying, yes, I would like to run this update, because it was never offered. And since then, it's just been stuck in that mode. I've tried every button combo I could think of. I held like all 4 of them. I held like 2 at a time in different configurations. I cannot reset it. I cannot get past it. It's just stuck where it is. Which means my next step is reaching out to GoPro. And of course, the first thing you're going to get is some level 1 dude who's going to read off a checklist of literally everything I did. I'm going to explain to him that I did it and actually read it all back to him. And then that's going to confuse him, and he's going to ask me to do all the steps again because he literally does not know how to go past that. And then we're going to do that about 5 or 6 times. And then I might get to level 2. They might call me back. Usually they try and call you back. And when that happens, it's usually 6 hours later, and it's when you're in the middle of something and you can't answer the phone, because good on you, GoPro, you suck. And that's basically how it's going to go. And this is really an issue. Like, come on, GoPro. If I can run my updates over Wi-Fi from my camera to my remote, or from my phone to my camera, there should be no reason why I can't update the remote the exact same way. And this isn't the first update that has been rolled out to this remote, which means if back in the day you couldn't do that because the feature wasn't there yet, you could have put it into the feature list when you did your last round of updates, which happened to coincide with right around when the GoPro 11 was released, which means you knew about it, you had the technology, you could do it, you didn't, you suck. I mean, I guess the next question is going to be, why do I stick with GoPro? Why wouldn't I just move away? And I think I did cover that in the video when I got the GoPro 11s. And it really came down to, there's just a bigger ecosystem with the GoPro family. Like, there's just more mods, there's more stuff out there. It's way easier to walk into a store and get like some random part you need, because most stores like Walmart, Best Buy, Staples, even like Kohl's carries GoPro stuff. So if you forget or lose a clamp, or like you need a battery on the fly or something like that, or your media mod decide to STB and you need a new one, you can generally walk into like a Walmart and pick one up. You can't do that with the other camera systems. They're not as widely available. The other thing would be, I don't do any color grading or anything like that. So with GoPro, I really like the colors and, like, you know, the way they do things pretty much out of the box. I make a few small changes and that's it. I don't do anything in post. Nonetheless, that is my rant for GoPro for the day. Honestly, if you figured out a way around these stupid updates, slide up into my DMs and let me know, because I don't know how far I'm gonna get with the GoPro rep, or, you know, how long I'll be able to get on the phone before I lose my cool. So yeah, if you've got the Hero 11 and you've got the remote, not like their original one, and you figured out how to do the update, which is like 2.0 or something, by all means, please reach out. Aside from that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share this video with friends, share it with family, share it with that one dork you know who's like, oh, GoPro's the best, there's nothing wrong with it, and they're so perfect. He loves this stuff, trust me. And I'll see you all on the flip side.